On this episode of Beer Blues BS, boy, do we have a lot of guests. The Local Geek is here. JS Gunslinger is here. We're going to drink some interesting beers. In fact, one I brought for the group, although JS didn't get it because the Kidder courier service apparently failed. But don't worry, we'll still have some good times. We're going to talk fat bears. We're going to talk about some TV. I got an interesting thing in a box, and who knows where else we're going to go. Plus, Kidder's going to tempt fate. He's got the Avs game on in the background. And we all know that when I watch the Avs play, they lose. So what's going to happen? You're just going to have to wait and see. But you're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V. Mark Kidder. Work all beverage, porpoises, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that knows how to chili down with the fire gang. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Jaco! I am doing okay, because here we are, another end to another week, another start to another show. It's another time and another day and another era. How are you doing?
It's hey, it's not every show that, like, right before we start, I get a call from, Billings County Sheriff and to do a security check on one of my buildings in Medora. But, first time for everything. So that's how it goes.
Breaking the law.
More like, listen, if it's Billings County, not a lot of exciting things happen out there. And so they see a gate open that's not usually open, so they check it out. And, there's, a strange dog in our caretaker's cottage, so they get a little concerned. It's just our department director. She's staying out there. She brought some furniture for the cottage, so luckily I knew what was going on and all of that. But makes for an interesting start to the show. And Kidder, we're not alone in our endeavors tonight. We got some guests.
The Billings County Sheriff's Department.
Well, now you've ruined that surprise. We'll see.
That they're not alone?
Well, no, that just meant that they're going to call back, probably. I have a feeling. We'll see.
Hooked on a feeling.
Mm-hmm. But no, I'm talking about the guests we actually had planned on being here. And to introduce them, returning, because, he's trying to continually build that lead as the guest with the most appearances on the show, because somebody got a little too close to his title. Everybody, welcome back, the Triple B Brewmaster, the Local Geek. How you doing tonight?
Hey, guys, I'm doing pretty good tonight. Definitely got to keep that lead. Big D got tied with me there, so I had to sneak back ahead on him.
At this rate, we're going to make him have to pay to be on the show because somebody has to keep this show funded.
I pay in beer.
I have not seen beer in quite some time.
Howard's got one with your name on it.
Oh, I see. So at this rate, he's going to drink it and say that he actually gave it to me.
No, I have it set aside just for you.
Oh,
but you have to come get it.
Oh, sure. Right.
I did give him the IPA instead of you, so that should earn me some bonus points.
Yeah, a little bit. But just in case, I also brought backup because everybody needs a little muscle and a show of firearms, for reasons. And so JS Gunslinger, the Triple B Armorer, he is here, live, loud, and on location with us. Welcome back to the Triple B.
Welcome. And let's do this.
I would like to point out that he has all of his windows. They are intact. There's no holes in them. And his TV, it is not cracked. It's on the wall. It's good. Operational order. So we are safe. That's why he's the armorer.
I mean, I suppose I could tell everybody it was actually an empty mag, but,
Now, why would you want to do that?
I'm not doing too bad. I stayed home today. I was supposed to be out spraying, but I stayed home to try and get some stuff done before winter, moving tractors and cleaning up the yard and preparing for the record-breaking 101 inches of snow we're going to get this winter.
Is it supposed to be another record-breaking winter? Because I hear varying stories. Some people are like, oh, it's supposed to be a lighter winter this year. Some people say we're hardly going to get snow. And then I hear this, we're going to get a repeat of last winter. Kidder?
Well, Jaco, according to one of the Farmer's Almanacs, we could have a very mild winter with light precipitation. Another one of them says that it could be colder than normal with less precipitation. And then there's other long-range forecast models that say, we are all going to die. So we will have to see what happens.
Isn't it El Nino? Doesn't that mean we're going to get hammered?
No, that means the child.
Geek, bringing the Spanish jokes to the show.
Well, if it's anything like last year, I moved a whole bunch of crap around off the road. So, because I literally ran out of places to put snow out here. I had piles 16 to 18 feet high everywhere I could put one. And I don't really feel like doing that again this year. So I moved all kinds of stuff. So I got 30 feet on each side of the road now.
Nice.
Love it.
But, gentlemen.
Okay, as we all know, El Nino is Spanish for the Nina. Because he is unlike all other tropical storms, and they will bow down before him. Mm. If anybody recognizes that or has any inkling of what I'm talking about, kudos to you. Have a drink on me. I'm, of course, talking about the old Saturday Night Live skit when Chris Farley played El Nino and then was flying through the air. But in a more serious note, apparently El Nino is strengthening, and the potential impacts for us include a warmer winter and potentially average to below average precipitation. So we'll see.
Yeah, and let's move off of all this snow talk because I'm not ready for, the white stuff yet.
Hey, I never said S. I never said any of that S word. No, that.
Can we at least get to what's on tap without me having to bleep the show like more than twice?
Hey, it's past the first 30 seconds, so we won't get taken down.
I still have to bleep it. You're making more work for me. Knock it off.
I forgot to tell them too what you told me there, Jay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's drink.
It's probably a good thing we're doing it tonight, not last night. I was a little fired up last night.
I could have figured from the run sheet.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes, gentlemen, it's everybody's favorite segment, What's on Tap? And tonight, I think we all have the same first drink. At least I hope you do, unless some of you already drank yours.
Wrong answer. I don't know what anybody else had, but I guarantee you I don't have the same thing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's okay. That. Yeah. I brought you guys from my time out west from the Lewis and Clark Brewing Company. It is a prickly pear pale ale brewed with real cactus fruit, a malt beverage brewed with natural flavors. Let's see what other descriptors we have on here. The beer is named for the prickly pear cactus that Lewis and Clark found in the Helena area as they explored the Missouri River westward. Cactus fruit, balanced malts, and delicious hops come together to make prickly pear pale ale an award-winning Lewis and Clark Brewing Company favorite. 5.2% alcohol by volume. That gives it a little description on the brewery. The Great Explorers are the inspiration for our name and in many ways our brewing style. It's also where we brew as we are located along their trail in the heart of the only Lewis and Clark County in the U.S. Our secret ingredients are the pride and craftsmanship of dedicated folks lucky enough to be called Montanans. So, yeah.
Just don't look at the bottom of the old can there.
Listen, I've been trying to get this to a particular individual on this show for a while, so
I don't know if you can read that there. It expired in December of 22.
Howard Blues cannot be held responsible for the beer that he purchased in August. Or was it September?
As I do not have said prickly pear goodness.
It's a fruity aroma to it. Definitely the ale aroma on there.
To be fair, I was going to try and meet up with Kidder this week and exchange a few things, but that didn't happen.
It's okay. We'll blame Kidder.
It does have a nice golden color to it there.
Yeah.
With a hint of green showing through from the pear, clearly.
My lights.
That's
so
the pear.
We'll give this a try.
It's almost a year old.
Yeah. And we'll hear what JS is drinking. Well,
judging by Kidder's face, I'm guessing he's not a huge fan.
Let me just say you dodged a bullet on this, the weak drink.
What was the ABV on this?
Oh, 5.2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It might be because of the extended release.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like it's a very alcoholic beer, but it's definitely got that hoppiness to it. But I like the finish on it.
Could probably take some finish off of something. It's a PP ale instead of the normal IP ale. Doesn't make
Are we bringing back some Four Local vibes or?
No, I don't have an instant headache when I drink this, but
well, that's a plus.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not. It's not.
I was hoping for a little more sweetness out of it.
I was too, truthfully.
Yep.
And it's definitely not that. Yeah.
Well, JS, you switching to straight whiskey tonight?
Well, I am the only one here. The groomer extraordinaire is in Orlando currently at a convention, so I am on my own, and I gotta have my ass all the way to Fort Berthold tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. So,
woo. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna try and keep the alcohol level like below a 1.0.
Good call.
It's gonna be a record low for this show.
Yes.
For most of us.
I am, however, drinking something from America's oldest brewery, the traditional Yuengling Lager.
Very nice.
Directly from Philadelphia.
Is it Philadelphia? I thought they were Tennessee for some reason.
Nope, they are made in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Actually, I picked this up in Harrisburg, not Philadelphia. We were in Harrisburg. We were out there a month ago for another grooming expo, which we had a great time. And I figured, being I was out there, I had to pick up one of these because I love this stuff, and it's not available up here. And to my pleasant surprise, there is 6 different kinds of Yuengling. There is the traditional lager. There's an amber. There is a dark. There is a light. And there was one other one, but I couldn't remember what it was. But I was pleasantly surprised. But in the Guinness glass that came from the previous convention in Las Vegas. Had to make a stop at the Guinness shop. Everybody likes a good Guinness.
Was that because I sent you the photo of having a Guinness at the Guinness store?
That was, yes, that kind of made me want to stop there. There's actually a 6-pack of Draught in the fridge right now too. So
Perfect.
it's got a really cool like amber color to it. It's kind of hard to see in here, but really nice amber color. And it just tastes good. It
Nice amber ale, huh?
it's doesn't have like an over amount of head to it. It's not
Dang.
real hoppy. It's just a really nice, smooth lager, and I really enjoy a Yingling when I can get my hands on one. So I got one more left that I was gonna try and get to Kidder this week, but maybe next week I'll get it over there.
Do have to say that I was very disappointed in the Guinness store when I was there because I purchased a glass and was going to get it laser etched, and the laser etching machine busted.
I totally forgot about the laser etching. I didn't even ask.
So I could not buy y'all a Triple B Guinness official laser engraved glass. Sorry. I tried.
That's just good beer.
I bought it, they put it in the machine, and it just dorked up. So I tried.
It happens.
You could have called LcL Geek for some IT support.
It kind of looked like they were still running on Windows 2000, so I didn't.
It's right up his alley. He's got this.
Well, I know he's been on it since Windows 95, so I know that he's got his skills down. But
I've got Windows 3.11 on floppy disk sitting over here somewhere.
Oh, sweet.
Hell yeah. Get a little bit of like original Oregon Trail there too, or what?
Probably.
Probably.
Got some green screen Apple going on?
No, none of that.
I do have one of those in the basement somewhere. The little Apple 2 Plus with the 3.5 inch.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon Trail, lemonade stand.
Ooh, there you go.
That's kind of really the two that worked, or that were interesting enough, I guess. But
My brother brought one home, and it wasn't an Apple. It was a different brand. Maybe it might have been an IBM, but it had a yellow screen instead of the green.
LcL Geek, you have any experience with that?
Not for sure, no.
We also had an IBM ThinkBall typewriter. That thing was cool. It had a golf ball in the middle of it with all of the letters stamped into this golf ball. And when you would hit a letter, it would spin to the correct one and slam it into the paper. And you could get typing pretty fast in that thing. And how that thing managed to spin around that fast was quite entertaining.
I remember seeing one of those, yeah. Here we go, Jaco. There's Nathan McKinnon. Period 2's coming up. Let's go.
Are they actually winning this time?
Well, right now, and here's the hilarity of it. I turned this on right before I joined, and it was 0-0. Joined the meeting, and within 5 seconds, San Jose scored a goal. I was like, it just knows that Howard is here.
Well, I mean, they are playing the Sharks, so
yeah, they should be winning.
It's only first period, so we'll get it going. But today, a great day for Fighting Sioux athletics. Why? Well, number one, earlier today, football action. Your University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux hosted the visiting North Dakota State University Bison, or Farmers, however you want to put it. Cow milkers. I'd say something else, but Howard get mad. Hey, you cow. So I didn't actually
What?
say it. You don't have to bleep it.
You mean you're not supposed to yell at, hey, bear? You mean that word?
Oh, fairness, I
You're welcome, Howie.
He's gonna have a meltdown, and we haven't even made it like half an hour into the show. So, North Dakota State University, their football team has been, impressive in some standards because they haven't been able to play actual tough teams like Nebraska, or I don't know, insert some other top tier team because reasons, right? NCAA reasons. Magic reasons. Anyway, they forked over 24 points on the board at the Alaris Center, and your University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux, 49. Sioux pick up the win, and it's the first time in 20 years that UND has beat NDSU in football. However, they've only played each other a handful of times in that period, so it's not like UND has lost 20 times in a row, because the last time that I was there and was interested was 2003, played NDSU when it really mattered, and UND won the Nickel Trophy. That was the last time they played for the Nickel Trophy, 2003. I held it before the game, and then they retired it. And then Howard stares at it every day. Now.
No, I don't.
Not anymore?
Well, I mean, I've been in Medora, and also I don't go into work on Saturdays and Sundays, so.
Sounds like somebody's slacking. You need to go stare at that nickel and shine up the Sioux side.
No, Howard has like 130 hours of comp time that I have to take from my time in Medora. And I'm still not done in Medora, so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So there we go. Fighting Sioux pick up a victory. Bam! There it is, football. That was game number 1. Then, tonight, there was a hockey tournament at Grand Forks. Last night, UND beat Army 7-2. And tonight, faced University of Wisconsin, the Badgers. UND picks up the sweep for the tournament and a shutout. 2-0 over Wisconsin. Second win of the night. We're looking for win number 3 right here, Jaco.
I'm not looking over there.
Okay.
I'm trying, man. You invoked the curse. See?
Uh-oh.
Man.
Either a fall or a fight. All I can see is feet.
There's an Avs player down because Kidder's tempting fate on this one.
It looks like the Sharks player got it worse because Wood got up on his own, or else he's just not a. What?
Does Thornton still play for the Sharks?
I think he retired.
Did he?
Or is he playing one more year? Here it comes. Boosh! Oh, the door was open. Oh, the door was open. Oof.
Interesting.
Tried to avoid it. Door was open.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I thought he retired. Let's take a look.
I've already pulled it up.
Yeah.
Played the majority of his career with San Jose from 2005 to 2020. 2020 to 2021, he played with the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2021 to 2022, he played with the Florida Panthers. But it doesn't have anywhere listed for 2023, so he may have retired. Looks like he's done.
Well, there you go. Man, last year may have been his last year. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Go Avs. Go Sioux.
24 seasons in the pros. So Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good career. Always missing a cup.
He definitely had a few years on it, so.
I don't even know what to rate this beer.
I'm rating it a 2.
I think 2 is fair.
Okay,
I'm
just
going
to be different. 1.89315.
Did you get all those numbers?
I will when I rewatch it.
I'm going solid like 4 or 5, 4, 8. I mean, I would go perfect 5, but I don't think that exists. So
I think there's been 1 or 2 that got him on the sheet so far.
Except for the alcoholic chocolate milk. That is absolutely a 5.
Local Geeks checking. That's not an easy stat to follow.
No, it's not, because there's a lot of like 4.5 out of 5, 1.5 out of 5. So just searching 5 out of 5 doesn't. It brought up 41 results.
Well, Local Geek is busy for the next hour. Although I think he might have been the other part of topic 2, because the other part of topic 2 on the run sheet is more beer? ?
Yes. Almost finished. Oh, there it was. There's the 5 out of 5. It was the long drink.
Which is the red one or the blue one?
It was whatever the regular one is. I think that's the blue
one.
I think. Absolutely not.
And actually, also the cranberry one. He gave them both 5 out of 5.
I will agree with them on the cranberry. The cranberry one is phenomenal. The blue one
is also like amazing.
And Big D also gave the Chimay Red a 5 out of 5. And JS, you gave a negative 5 out of 5 on something once.
Probably the blue long drink.
No, it was the 4 Local Gold.
oh, yes, it was that. Yes, that one was pretty terrible too. Comparable to the blue long drink, but slightly worse.
And Big D also gave the 19 crimes. Shoot. Uh-oh. Beer down.
Oh, no.
How dare you?
Local Geek, if you didn't want to drink it, there were plenty of other ways you could have gotten rid of it.
Yes, there were much better ways.
Darn. I have tipped over my terrible beer.
I didn't get rid of all of it. So.
You're getting close, though.
Yeah, that was about half of what was left. So. But anyway, the other half of topic 2 of more beer. As you see over here, my shiny prop that I've got. I have borrowed my friend's fermenter that I'm likely going to buy from him. But next weekend I'm planning to brew the 2023 version of Mini DNA, so you guys can expect some Local Geek beers again here in the next, well, probably around the time this episode airs.
Cool.
Next year. I kid. We have extra episodes.
So maybe in an interesting, slightly fun fact, I'm done. And I didn't spill half my beer.
Same.
Howie is the first one to finish a beer. Has that ever happened?
Once or twice. And it's mostly because we had like a run sheet where like Kidder was doing all of the talking. So I had nothing to do but drink. And that's the only time I ever beat Kidder done drinking.
It must have been the Black-O-Lantern one.
No, actually, there was one that was just actually fairly recent. And I think it was because Kidder was talking about his time down in Phoenix with Metallica. So there was a lot that he wanted to, get off his chest. And so I had to sit and listen and drink. And so it has happened. But the fact that I beat, everybody. And Local Geek even tried to cheat a little.
I was right behind you.
Well, so was Kidder. Kidder was right behind me too. So it's not like I won by a long, stretch.
I actually drank this. I didn't spill it on the floor.
Had I had more than one of these, you wouldn't have had a chance. However, I'm savoring it because it's the last one that I have aside from Kidders.
Hey, yeah, listen, I'll take my victory. I'll take my once in like 130 some odd episode victory that I
I'll give it to you.
pulled this off. So,
and most of mine wasn't on the floor, Kidder. Most of it ended up on the keyboard.
Oh, perfect. You didn't need that keyboard anyway.
You've got the fancy waterproof ones, right?
No.
Oh. After all this time in IT, you haven't got, and seeing all the Coke spills, you haven't gotten yourself a waterproof keyboard?
I'm still using the keyboard I had in high school.
That's the trick, because being in IT, he gathered about 3,000 of the same keyboard, and so if something happens, he can just throw it away like nothing happened. I love this keyboard.
This is actually the one that I had in high school. I went a number of years without using it because I had a laptop I was using almost exclusively. But.
Well, gents, as three of us are out, I guess that brings on probably one of the faster transitions to everybody's second favorite segment of the show, and that is What's on Tap? Round 2. Drink. So, Kidder, what you having?
I got a little something here that is a mystery type flavor with Mountain Dew Overdrive.
That's good stuff.
And it's been sitting in here waiting for me to have it, but in the past weeks, I've really not wanted to drink something without alcohol. And I know I could add something else to it, but I really got to get the true flavor of the drink, so then I have a true rating. You know, can't taint it with alcohol. Sorry, I couldn't help not laughing.
It needs some Everclear.
Carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, citric acid, natural flavor, gum arabic, sodium benzenate, caffeine, sodium citrate, yellow 5, glycerol, ester of rosin, calcium disodium edta, red 40, and bottled under the authority of PepsiCo. 91 milligrams of caffeine in this bottle. 270 calories in a 20 fluid ounce container. It, yes, PepsiCo Incorporated. 146% of my daily value in total sugar. So, give this one a taste test here. Should be perfect after that PP beer. PP ale. Get it? Because it's the pear pale ale.
Actually,
triple P.
Mm-hmm. Be the prickly pear ale. Pale ale.
Okay. Or the PP pale ale.
How's the overdrive?
Less caffeinated than I would hope.
Really?
Mm-hmm. In fact, I don't want to call it flat, but it's very dull. Like, not many bubbles at all. I mean, you can see about the 30 of them right here in the bottle.
Did I mishear you, or did you say caffeinated instead of carbonated?
Carbonated, yes. I've been drinking.
I was just making sure I didn't mishear you, because I was going to say Mountain Dew is known for its caffeine content.
I mean, only 91 milligrams.
That's about on par for Mountain Dew.
That's pretty low for me. So, you know what? It is pretty good. Like you were saying there, Local Geek. It's Mountain Dew with a blast of citrus punch flavor with other natural flavors. Could use some extra carbonation to it. A little extra sticky there.
What are you getting for flavor?
Little orange, raspberry,
I'm laughing because we have had some beers on this show that we have not interrogated people this much over.
Well, it's a mystery flavor, so I was curious what he's getting. I got sweet tarts very strongly off of it.
I could see a sweet tart off of that. Yeah. I thought Howard was laughing because it was like an ASMR episode again.
No, it's just the fact that like LcL Geek is like asking all these like questions on it. I'm like, we have beers that we have spent less time on. It was just like that cracked me up. I saw that JS had poured himself something. So JS,
I did.
What are you having?
This one was a Kidder provided beer. This is a Fargo Brewing Company original lager. It is the Drink Fargo, the beer for any occasion. 5.1%, proudly brewed in Fargo, 17 IBU. Keep cold, drink fresh, and don't drink if you're pregnant.
And how is it?
Not as good as my last one. That has got to be a wheat beer because, like, I can like taste the grain dust.
That's usually a quality that Kidder likes in his beer. You know, to be able to chew the wheat.
Yeah, it says it's a lager, but I mean it sure looks like a light. I mean it's just about see-through. In fact, I can see you through it.
You can lager a wheat, so
yeah, it is definitely not my favorite beer. Like I said, it's got that wheat flavor to it, and like for me, the aroma is old grain bin. I'm shoveling grain again on the farm, and I don't want to do that anymore. It's not terrible. I would drink this probably over Bud Light or something of that nature, but I'd probably rather have a Busch.
Okay. LcL Geek, I'd ask you what you're having for round 2, but I think that you were trying to figure out what I was having so that you could match it.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I think I can possibly match JS, if not.
Yeah, because you asked me if it was one of the New England beers that your spy network had brought, and it's not. But it is something I got from you, but I need to get it out of my fridge because I've had it for a while. It's this guy.
I could have one of those.
I think you could. So, for those who don't know, this is the wheat base beer that LcL Geek used for his shandies. So, I have one of these. Haven't had a chance to partake. And it's funny because the episode that came out tonight, Kidder, you had yours. So, a month later, I'm finally getting to this.
I hope LcL Geek was able to hear that.
Oh, he can hear everything. He, like you, has got the fancy headphones so he can travel and still be part of the conversation.
It'll just be like 4 weeks late when he hears it. I also got very sick of cords, so.
But you
don't like he's got his fancy one too. He's just cordless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still rocking the analog.
I like to feel like an honorary McDonald's worker every now and then.
I'll have a quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah.
Like a Royale with cheese.
I'll give you some cheese, all right.
Some of the extra secrets from back in the day.
I'll give you some of the extra scrapings that come off the edge of the grill, or maybe some of the juice that comes out of the UFC tray.
So LcL Geek, what did you end up going with?
I did go with the wheat, and I don't know if you saw me come halfway back and turn around. it got a little angry on me, and I had to wipe the glass down.
I mean, that's your second beer spill of the night. Don't make me put on the ref jersey to give you a penalty, man.
I know it's definitely not my night.
Time out. It's not just a penalty.
I do hear everything too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It just smells like a musty freaking grain bin, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I went and looked to see if I had the Fargo original, and I did not. I knew Kidder had given me for sure the Fargo. I think it was a blonde or something like that, but I drank that. I think not last time, but the time before I was on.
Yeah, the sweet base is pretty good. I mean, I think I liked it better as a shandy, but it's not bad. Like,
yeah, I liked it better as a shandy myself. I'm trying to empty my kegs, so that's partly why I decided to go with it.
Yeah, well, close, and I'm glad I can help.
I need to either empty this one or the porter so that I can put the mini DNA on tap in a couple weeks.
I'm hearing, party at LcL Geeks is what I'm hearing.
There's less than a gallon of each left, so it won't take much, but I may have to bottle more up and pass it around.
That's the best kind of party. It's short,
Fine. I don't want to see you for more than 10 minutes either. Jesus.
So
here I thought LcL Geek was saying that we could do the show from his place next week.
Yeah. Anyway, now that Kidder's a little fired up, somebody else in our group has been a bit fired up because, boy, they didn't even put their stuff in different topics. They just threw it all into topic 3, and it sounds like JS has got some issues with a rotational pump.
You're damn right.
I'm going to interrupt the subject here for a second and have another party foul. I'm going to go dump this one out. This one went skunky on me.
Oh, no. That's 3 for the LcL Geek in an hour.
But the rotational pumps. So if you guys didn't know, which I mean, I'm sure you're very familiar with these, but on a large boom lift, say a 60 or 80 foot boom lift, even the smaller, the 40s, there is a 12-inch diameter piece of steel underneath the motor, underneath the turntable on a rotating boom lift. What that does is that lets you spin in circles more than 7.5 times and not unscrew the top. So you can just keep spinning on those and they won't unscrew. There's an inner shaft and then an outer casing. And what it does is there's channels in there. Fluid goes in through the top, pushes it down into those channels, and then through those channels, it lets it go out to the perspective controls on the lower side of the machine. Before they came up with those, they used to just be straight hoses. And when you turned more than a full revolution, you would bind up those hoses. And if you broke one of those hoses, you were having a bad day. Well, I had to go to Jamestown to the local government agency that was there that keeps people for long periods of time and work on some of their equipment. This particular machine had lost so much fluid that I couldn't even move it. It was Thursday, so it was cold. It was very windy, and I had to do all of this outside. It took me 6 hours to get that rotational pump out of this machine. I had to take it apart in 2 pieces while laying in a pool of hydraulic fluid and floor dry. And the top half of it, I had to weasel my way in between the boom arms and could only get one arm down there at a time to loosen fittings, loosen connections, and take bolts out, and then try and remove the inner core of that rotational pump that's probably close to 150 pounds. With the casing on it, it's nearly 300, and it is going to be a miserable get back into place. I'm probably going to have to bring somebody with me because there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to lift that thing up underneath the machine and get it back in place. So my Thursday sucked.
I'm glad it's better because it's over.
Yes.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm also having a problem with a pump.
No.
Because I came back from Medora to learn that one of the sump pumps in my basement has gone out and is running off the backup. So I need to get that replaced.
Yeah,
so,
I know who you can call for that. The man in the middle of my screen happens to be a sump pump repair expert. He told me all about his endeavors.
You had those skills. That's local geek. Next time something happens at my place, I'm going to give you a call.
All right,
I'll have beer ready.
Yeah, Kidder told me all about his sump pump repair endeavors.
Yeah, we'll just divert that one right over to the local geek. It's right this way. Hopefully, don't have to do that again.
So, is yours just the sump pump for the excess water in the basement, or is yours the sewage pump?
Mine is the excess water in the basement. But
plus,
but here's the negative to it. The way that particular sump pump was set up and hooked up, technically against code, it pumps directly into the sewer line. So, probably going to have to fix that one on my own and not involve a contractor on that. Fun times.
Yeah, there's that.
So,
I'm trying to think of ways around that.
A giant hose.
Yeah.
Through the window and duct tape it shut.
I mean,
all winter.
It all ends up in the same place anyway. It all ends up in a sanitary sewer. I know there's some of them that are piped out to drain into the storm sewers, but most of the time you don't have a storm sewer inlet in the house. Mm-hmm. So the older ones, a lot of times they just drill a hole in the wall and shove a hose out the wall, and they'd run it out into the street. But I've seen more. That's not the only one I've seen where that's been piped into the actual sewer of the house and just tied in.
Yeah. So
I think it's only against code if they don't have a check valve in there, so water can't. So if you get a sewage backup, it can't come in through your sump pump inlet and fill your sump pump with full of sewage.
Yeah, and mine's it does have a check valve. So
okay,
we're covered there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so you're probably good that way then. That's the main thing is you have to have some kind of backflow preventer so that your sewage can't come into the non-sewage area of the house until it forces its way back through the porcelain throne, and they don't seem to care about it coming that way.
Yeah. So now I gotta buy a pump and do that project, and we'll see. That's never easy to do projects with two little ones, especially because my son's going to want to help and not going to need his help with that. So,
have him
your
hold the
local
flashlight.
geek has some expertise on finding a pump and replacing it.
Kidder, I still I got a beer for you. Spend some time with your good brother.
Right.
Definitely a trap.
There's two places in town. One of them has this bright blue sign with white letters on it, and there's another one that's got this big green sign that also has white letters on it. Both of them sell those
save
pumps.
Big money.
You can save big money at one of them.
Yeah, I know that. It's I said more finding the
he
time
knows,
to do the
but
work.
he's still trying to get somebody else to do it for him.
No, this is more of just needing a little bit of help. Probably is kind of my thought, but
Maybe, probably, sort of, kind of needing maybe help.
Did you
You know-
try hitting it with a hammer before you replace it?
Yeah,
no,
hit it.
because mine's got a really nice cover on it that I'm gonna have to like disconnect things in order to even take the cover off. So
Sometimes you can get like a whole nother year out of them just by whacking them like once or twice with a hammer. You know, you'll jar some stuff loose and they'll start working again.
Kidder, you got
And then
anger issues. Why you come over, take them out.
I don't have an issue with my anger. It works just fine.
Well,
Especially
I
when
tried.
somebody puts a
You know,
cherry in
this
my
isn't
damn old fashioned.
apparently this isn't the only thing that Kidder has been. You know, I'm the only person that Kidder's been standing up lately. Apparently, he's also been standing JS up when it comes to shooting.
That's right, you son of a.
Straight
Oh.
shooter. I love it.
We've been doing actual competitions and classes out here with the group that Kidder and I started shooting with. I don't know, over a year ago.
Yep.
And Kidder made what, 2, 3, maybe.
Eh,
And then he just stopped showing up, and said his ammo was too expensive or something. But
yeah.
But then I see him at Metallica concerts, and I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah. I bought those
But,
tickets like a year ago.
Yeah. Excuses. But no, we've
Dang.
been doing quite a bit out here. Actually, we usually do one shoot and one course every month, sometimes more. I've missed 1 or 2 of them just because I've been out spraying, or one of them we had while I was out in Vegas. But it's been a really nice outlet for stress and things of that nature. So it's been a really good time. We got a really good group of guys and girls that are coming out. Everyone comes out and has a good time. I write a few truly evil courses for these that make people run and shoot out of cars and things of that nature. And everybody seems to have a good time with them. In fact, I was told to write more of them because they love them. So, all right. We're doing a Halloween shoot on, I think, the 29th. We're going to have one of the stages. We're going to have a small maze set up through some hay bales. And every corner you come around, you might end up with Michael Myers in your face, or Freddy, or maybe even the little Susie gal from back in from
Men in Black.
Men in that movie from Men in Black, that one. So there'll be a clay pigeon in the center of it, and everything's going to be in the dark. So you got to do it with a flashlight and see if you can discern your targets and shoot the right ones and not the wrong ones. So it's going to be a good time. And we're doing a long range course on November 19th. Out here, we're going all the way out to 500, maybe 550 if I can get the range stretched out that far. That's what I was putting this together for. So we're gonna stretch the legs on this one and see if we can punch some nice, pretty holes at 500 yards.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a terrible pistol shot, but the Halloween thing does actually kind of sound like that would be a fun experience.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3-gun, so it's AR, so it's rifle, shotgun, and pistol. We don't go through a ton of rounds. It's generally 50 handgun, 50 rifle, and 25 shotgun, and it's just a great time. We've been acquiring more different targets and whatnot. So now we've got, not only do we have just the steel ones that I made, but we have popper targets to where you hit them and they fall down. We've made, I've incorporated some clay pigeons in there now that we can use with shotguns. We're using more of the property now rather than just the one square range I have. So like the last course, you started at the front of the house and you had to run just over 200 yards down to an old van that we have. And the van was simulating a helicopter. So you would crawl inside the van, set your rifle up on the seat belt because the seat belt was stretched across like a shooting sling. You would take your rifle on that. You make a shot at 200, set your rifle down. You crawl out of the van, go to a table behind the van. You take a 20-yard shot with a handgun, and then you go back into the van. You do that set 5 different times. You're on your 5th shot. You drop your magazine. You fire one more round for number 6, so we know the rifle's clear. Do the same thing with your handgun, and then you grab a shotgun, go around the front of the van, and go through a kind of a move and shoot course with clay pigeons hidden around corners. It was a good time, and we make them so that pretty much anybody can do it. You know, the run itself wasn't timed in that one. It will be on the next ones, but it was just a nice. You know, I would give you a ride in the Ranger if you wanted, but it was a 2-minute penalty, just to encourage people to make the run. It didn't matter if they walked, ran, jogged, whatever. It was just to get your heart rate up a little bit, so that by the time you got to your shooting platform, your blood was pumping, your heart was elevated, and you had that stress response almost to shooting. So it makes it a little bit more challenging. Yeah, it was a good time. So I've been finding all kinds of difficult but not impossible courses and whatnot to incorporate. So there's 2 or 3 of them that are less physically challenging, and then we have 1 or 2 of them that are quite challenging to kind of level that playing field out and make them so that anybody that comes out can shoot. My son comes out and shoots with us, and he's 11, and you know, he might end up in the bottom 1 or 2, but he still does it just fine. So,
see, now he's wondering why I don't come out, because it's like you got to run and you got to jump and crawl, and I'm like,
I never said anything about jumping.
Well, jump into the van, jump out of the van, crawl, whatever.
I mean, I'm just saying, like it's good practice.
And Howard was the first one done with round 2 also.
Mark your calendars, folks. It's a weird one tonight.
By the way, I went to my fridge and I grabbed a white Rastal.
Ooh, I don't know what that is, but it sounds decent.
It's a Belgian style white ale with Caruso and orange peel and coriander. It says brewed with Rocky Mountain water, malted barley, malted wheat, coriander, Caruso, orange peel, hops, and Belgian yeast. And it's from the Avery Brewing Company out of Boulder, Colorado. And it's got this cool little guy on the side of the can.
Interesting can art.
So I was gonna say, so that's your round 3 there, Local Geek?
Technically. Round 2 officially, but it's the 3rd one I've had for the night.
Yes.
I dumped out the wheat there.
Okay, we'll count it as your round 2. And then I'll stop interrupting JS.
If you're interested in coming out, Howie, we've got things. You can borrow things if all you have is a break action shotgun. So
I actually don't have a single gun in my house.
How are you going to defend this country against the terrorists?
He's going to call upon the murder bird. Oh, and he's got a plastic sword.
Yes.
I bet you he's got a whole army of like ogres or orcs or something.
Stand back, I'll take your fingernail off.
But yes, my house is protected by Murder Bird Home Security.
Yes.
You can get that shirt now at beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch. Or streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Subscribe early and subscribe often. $1 a month can help a starving podcast host survive.
And on the basis of that cheap plug and the fact that I see JS reaching for another beverage, I
thought he was rearranging his guns.
I mean, he could be doing that too.
You gotta shuffle through.
Let's start talking about one of my favorite things, one of my favorite times of the year. Gentlemen, this last week was Fat Bear Week. And that's always exciting. So, for those in the audience who maybe don't know about Fat Bear Week, it is done by Katmai National Park up in Alaska. They have a bear face whiskey from JS. They do this really great thing. They have a camera that watches one of the main falls, Brooks Creek, and Kidder also has bear face.
What?
Nothing.
Cheers. Straight out the top.
Oh, man, does that stuff smell good.
I'm glad you found it.
I'm glad we are continuing the tradition of stomping on Howard's transitions.
Sorry, I also grabbed one of these to drink. I'll just let you know. We've had it on the show, but I still have more of these, so carry on.
Fine. In that case, I'm going to crack open.
Fat bears.
No, because now we're into what's on tap, round 3. Drink.
Oh, that's a lot of whiskey.
No, it's not. It's bear face. That is nectar of the gods.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
Anyway, I got a Modelo Julita Piña Picante. Again, I apologize to all of our Spanish speakers. Brewed in Mexico. I got nothing really else on this thing. Anyway, very pineapple smell. Like, holy crap, it smells like a pineapple. And
I got a glass of foam.
Nice. Actually, this is pretty good. It's like a spicy pineapple.
I mean, you did say it was picante, so
again, Howard, Spanish. 2 things don't go together. Like smooth transitions. And Howard also don't go together. But this is actually really good. I actually kind of like it. It's a spicy pineapple.
Okay, Howie, no habla español?
Listen, when it comes to Espanol, I got hola, ¿cómo estás? And ¿dónde es el baño?
And más cerveza, por favor.
Dos cerveza, por favor.
I mean, you've got the basic ones. I mean, that's really all you need.
Me llamo East Kidder.
Another good one is Donde el Jefe. That means where's the boss?
Anyway,
Was that
back to Fat Bears?
Spanish Karens?
My glass of foam was the Pinkerton Porter, by the way.
What's left of it?
There's not much left. That's why it's pouring a lot of foam.
So,
Kidder, if you're gonna have some bear face, try it with Dr. Pepper. Man, is that good!
If I had Dr. Pepper,
But speaking of bears, Howie, how about them fat ones?
yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, Katmai National Park, they do this every October. It's a chance to look and see how much weight the bears have put on from the beginning of the season when they come out of hibernation until they go into hibernation. Kidder is trying to throw me off by constantly pretending to interrupt. I see you, and anyway, this year was interesting, gents. I don't know if you followed it. There was a lot of concern at the beginning of the Bears season because Otis, legendary Fat Bear, was late coming out of hibernation. He didn't come out until July 27th. Was his first time being spotted, leaving a lot of people to believe that he maybe did not make it through the winter. He is an older bear. He is a 4-time Fat Bear champion, so, definitely in the Hall of Champions. But he would make it a run. He'd get to the quarterfinals before being knocked out. Last year's winner, Bear 747, she also would get knocked out at the quarterfinals. So we had 2 new bears in this year's competition vying for the title. And so I'm going to bring it up on the screen. We have 2 bears here. This is Chunk 32 over on the left versus Grazer 128. And I'm going to give you guys a chance here. If you haven't seen the results, anybody want to try to predict who won as the fattest bear of 2023?
I'm gonna
The one on the right.
Yeah, Grazer definitely to me looks like the fattest one.
That giant on the right is a large bear.
Yes, and you know what? Everybody else agreed with you. She would end up winning. You can see the votes here: 23,134 for Chunk, 108,321 for Grazer. She is your 2023 champion. And there's the bracket right there. You can see her path to victory, including she's the one who took out last year's champion in the quarterfinals. Right there. As always, gents, a lot of fun following this. And hey, if you've never partook and followed and been part of Fat Bear Week, again, watch for it every October. It's a chance to kind of vote, and you can help decide who is the fattest bear at Katmai National Park. Kind of a fun thing. This is our 3rd year covering it on the show. It first appeared in episode... I forget what the number was, but it was called Fat Bears and Killer Wedgies. That was the title.
Wasn't JS on that one too?
I don't think so.
Local Geek.
I remember you talking about the fat bears on another one, so unless that might have been one that I watched, but
that might have been last year's, which was Fat Bears and chip speculation, because we were talking about how we had missed buying the 1 chip challenge chip and how you could buy it like off eBay for ungodly amounts of money.
they have banned one of them pulled them now because some kid died from trying to do it.
Clearly, JS has watched or hasn't watched this week's episode. That came out.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who works at one of those.
Did you sons of bitches do it without me?
From like Amazon and Walmart and stuff, and they had a whole bunch of those come in on one of their pallets from Amazon.
No, JS, we didn't do it, but in the episode that came out yesterday, we talked about how the 1 chip challenge chip had been pulled, and so there's a. I mean, it's even in the intro. Like, we got some bad news for JS.
Did you guys hear about the Skywalk?
What happened to the Skywalk?
What Skywalk?
The one at UND, they tore it down.
What?
Yeah, I can't handle all this bad news, man. I try to bring you the joy of Fat Bears. LcL Geek brings us, our collegehood days being torn down. Oh
man, if only we could go back and enjoy our residence hall days up in McVeigh 4th floor, just enjoying the sweet areas and avoiding axe bombs. And next thing somebody's going to say is that the hall isn't there anymore.
Well, before we get to that, let's shift topics because that's what I do. I keep the show moving in one direction.
Because when I finish this, I'm breaking into the bear face.
I mean, you can do that. I really am tapping out after 3 drinks, which actually I think 3 drinks is a record for me on the show in one episode. No, wait.
I was gonna say, I don't think you've ever done more than 2.
Well, I have done 3 because at Triple B of Doom I did all 3.
I was going to say the Triple B of Doom, but I don't know off the top of my head any other ones.
Yeah, and you don't watch the wrestling
Your
content.
giant glass.
I mean, there was the Four Loco episode, so that was like 5 drinks.
Yeah.
Well, and if you ever watch our wrestling content, there's been a couple of those where I take a shot for every wrong prediction I get. So,
Ooh.
we've had some good ones.
Start counting those episodes now. He's like, no, please don't make me watch those.
Well, the good news is like we get to what's on tap like right away, so like he doesn't have to watch more than like the first like 10 minutes.
Just
Has there been Yingling on the show before?
That's a local geek question. I'm gonna let him answer it. He's here.
Kidder didn't think there has been, and I guess I didn't think there has either, but I have not watched all 130 episodes. So
Farva had it on episode 32.
Son of a
that mustache, love an SOB.
For the only member of this who's got an official beer, he rarely drinks it on the show.
Yeah,
I don't know if he ever has he?
I thought about having one of the Spätzle Brewery beers tonight, but I figured I better save that one for later when Farva joins us again.
That particular one's what I've been drinking when I've been down at the Little Mo is Shinerbach right off tap. Although I won't talk about that. Anyway,
what?
Yeah, no. Anyway,
you had one too many.
No. That wasn't what I was going to say, but I realized what I was going to go to. I shouldn't say, at least in a recorded form. So I can tell you guys after the show. Anyway,
Spätzle Brewing Company is the best brewing company in the country, and damn, we hope that they sponsor our show.
Or at least Farva. So, gents, I wanted to bring it up. I think I have covered this before, but I didn't know if I had covered since I have finished this. But the missus and I, we finally finished on Netflix the live action version of One Piece, all 8 episodes. And I would give it a pretty solid rating. I know we tend to do like out of 5 on this show, so I give it like a 4.8. It was pretty good. I have some issues with the last episode, and really, if you're not into One Piece, you probably wouldn't make much sense to you. But I will say, like the big confrontation that they built up to all season was kind of meh. Like they didn't give it a lot of time, and so there's just some notes missing on that last episode. But overall, it was pretty good, and it's been announced they're going to do a season 2. So looking forward to that. If you haven't checked it out, and again you like pirates, like a little bit of comedy, and you accept it for kind of being a very cartoony-esque show, you'd probably enjoy it. So.
I will say, my son is one of the hopelessly addicted ones to the cartoon version of One Piece. So I've watched way too many episodes, or third party watched. I have not sat down and watched every single one with him, but when he binge watches them, I catch parts of them as I'm doing things here and there. Him and I and the wife sat down and watched the first one the other night, and I watched. Well, I guess I saw most of it. I was still doing things at the same time, but I was impressed. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's got some like slightly goofy things to it, and they do make some changes from the cartoon version to the live action version that are mostly, for the most part, are done because of budget. There's some of the larger battle scenes that you see in the cartoon they just don't do because you'd have to pay all the extras and there'd be a lot more special effects and it would just make your budget bigger. But overall, like they do pretty well. There's some really good like emotional notes that they just kind of missed on the last episode, and it was partially because they focused way too much on putting in Garp and kind of his storyline through. So they had to save time in the last episode for that. And I think because of that, they shrunk some of the stuff with Arlong that could make it better and make some of the more like poignant dramatic moments hit a little bit harder. But that's a nitpicking view. Overall, my wife actually, and she's watched a little bit of the cartoon when I've had it on. She actually enjoyed this a great deal. So I'm looking forward to season 2, especially because there's talk of the character Tony Chopper being in that, and he's kind of the official mascot of the show, and I'm just excited because I'm kind of curious how they're going to do that. There's even talk of Jamie Lee Curtis coming on to play one of the characters in season 2. So Dr. Correa
was in an episode of the new season of Reno 911.
Nobody cares about Reno 911.
The character playing God damn it, what is his name now? The Gum kid.
Oh, Luffy. The character playing Luffy is like spot on with the cartoon. The girl playing Nami is just about perfect. I only saw the foot guy once or twice, but he looked pretty close. The little bit that I saw was him as the kid episode or part of whatever. I think that was still the first episode. But yeah, that would be Zoro. So Zoro, they do pretty well.
No, that wasn't Zoro. Zoro did not look like I expected him to. As the cartoon, it's. I don't know. Zoro didn't quite look the way I thought he would. He did great, in the first episode. He was a great actor, plays the part very well. Just didn't quite look the way I thought he would in the live action, according to the
cartoon and
to the comic.
Yeah.
The other three fit the image of what they had in the cartoon almost perfectly. Zoro was very close, just wasn't quite there, but still a great actor, hell of a swordsman. The guy has some serious swordsman skills.
Yeah, no, I like Zoro. Nami's the one that's kind of a miss for me, and yeah, she's not bad. Like, again, this is me being nitpicky, but it's a little bit of a miss. Yeah, if you've only seen the first episode, you haven't got to Sanji yet. He's very good. The one thing that they kind of changed about his character, and I'm very okay with it, was they toned down just how lovesick he gets over ladies. Because in the cartoon, it's almost annoying.
Yep.
And such. Here they toned it down, at least in what I've seen so far, and I'm very okay with that. Usopp is great too, so it's very good. Very good.
I haven't seen Usopp yet. Like I said, the first episode was all I watched, or most of it, and then I think they had maybe the second or third that was playing, and I caught a minute or two of it. I think I saw Sanji as a kid.
Yeah, and they actually, I will say this, they actually when they talk about Sanji and Zeph's story, there's a difference between the manga, so the actual comic book version, and the anime, the cartoon version. In what they do, they kind of tone down the story in the cartoon. They didn't pull the punches for the live action. They told the story as it was in the comic, and it is just brutal. So he's the kid on. He's the chef, right? Right.
Yeah. Okay. I saw that the part of his backstory is the other episode, or the bit of the episode that I caught was the part of his backstory. I left. I walked out when they were on the rock. So I guess I never saw anything past that. But
and what I'm talking about happens on the rock. So
okay.
It's still like, it was one of those, like, I said to my wife when they got to that part, I'm like, I wonder which version they're going to tell. And it's like, oh, they're going with this one. Oh, I didn't tell her what was going to happen, but she got a little squeamish over it. So it was,
yeah. And I have, I've never, I don't read enough the way it is. Especially comics. I don't read comics at all. But so I don't know any of it, but other than what I've seen in the cartoons that the kiddo's been watching. So
yeah. So no, it's good. I as I said, I'd tell anybody, give it a try. Give it an episode or two. You might enjoy it more than you think. So, and that brings us to our next topic, which somebody else put down. So,
well, since we're talking about TV, if you wanted to continue with TV for a second, a couple interesting things going on. Of course, Reno 911 has new season been airing. It's been all right. Some really funny moments in there. Also, the last season of Archer has been airing. Rude Boy, Kyle, big fan of Archer. I've been a fan of Archer over the years. And the big finale will be airing in mid-December. So perfect timing for this episode to potentially hit the airwaves. So we'll see how that is. And hopefully it's good. And also Loki season 2 now airing. 2 episodes into the latest season here. And it's been pretty good. I've enjoyed Loki, and agitated, of course, that it's been 2 years since the last season, because take forever to make it and only have like 10 episodes. Classic Hollywood these days. And Star Trek Lower Decks, they're already 6 episodes in to the current season, and I'm sure there's about 10 episodes, and hopefully more episodes in the future. Longer season. It will be back for season 5. And with this weekend being the New York Comic-Con, also announced that more Star Trek coming up, more Star Trek on the way. Star Trek Discovery will finally air and be done in 2024. So hopefully starting shortly after the new year, the new series, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, supposedly in writing right now, beginning filming in 2024, along with the long anticipated movie for Section 31. And Prodigy has a new home. Netflix apparently picked up season 2 of Prodigy because Paramount didn't want it anymore. Kind of weird, but there's some of the latest TV things. How about the Continental? Have you heard about the Continental? The early days origin stories almost in the John Wick franchise, streaming on Peacock.
I've seen the ads for it. I will admit I have not seen the third John Wick movie either, so I'm a little behind in the gunplay shooty shoot movie.
Sure.
Never seen John Wick.
It is an origin story for pieces in the John Wick universe. There's 3 parts of season 1. They're basically 1.5 to 2 hour movies put together. And I think they did a pretty good job. Not too bad. I almost don't think it was necessary, but Mel Gibson is in there and plays an interesting role. So it's worth the watch there. Yeah. Saw a couple other weird movies. 57 Seconds, probably a movie that you've never heard of, and I had never seen advertised before, but one of the featured actors is Morgan Freeman. And I'm like, how did a movie with Morgan Freeman not get promoted?
I can almost see the movie cover for that in my head, but I have never seen the movie.
Yeah. He's a tech expert, and they have these like wristbands that his company makes, and there's it's a whole plot thing. But basically, somebody tries to take out Morgan Freeman, and the guy saves him and finds this ring on the stage. And when he taps the ring just right, it takes him back 57 seconds. And then you can't just hit it. It over the 57 seconds, recharges. So you can hit it and go back 57 seconds again.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kind of bizarre, but
you know what?
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, you know what a better title for that movie would have been?
Morgan Freeman in a C-rated movie?
No. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Already
You
taken.
can't ask for laughing.
Unfortunately, I did not see any like 1968 car, whatever they were driving in that movie with Nicolas Cage.
It was a 1968 Mustang, one of a kind, Eleanor GT 500.
See, at least I got the year right. Yeah. Anyway, watched a couple other movies too. Equalizer 3. That was not a bad movie with Denzel Washington. Not a bad movie there.
I liked the first one. I didn't see the second one. So
second one got a little fake at times. Like because of the effects. And I won't ruin it for 20 years down the road when you finally watch it.
Thanks, buddy.
You got it, because spoilers.
Yeah.
I think I've seen or watched one scene out of the second movie, but I think that's about it.
Also watched one of the latest movies with Liam Neeson. And I don't recall what that one's called, because there's a lot of them.
Was it Taken?
It called?
Because I feel like it's Taken.
No. He's done with the Taken movies. He's took enough.
Has he done portraying his particular set of skills?
No, because he still is portraying those sets of skills.
I heard he was coming back for one more sequel called Return.
No, like give it back. Instead of taking things, you're giving it back.
Right. Return. I'm sorry. I'll sit here quietly.
He goes to the big box store and like, I have the receipt and I have the item. I would like to take this back. You would like to make a return? No, I would like to take this back. But you already have it. No, you need to take this back. I'm sorry, sir. Listen, I know you have a particular set of skills that can help us in this instance. You need to take this back. So you would like to return it? No. It's called Retribution. And basically, he gets in the car and there's a bomb underneath his seat in the car. So if he gets up out of the car, it explodes. And it is an interesting thriller and a nice twist Futuous.
I seem to recall a movie from 20 years ago where that exact same scene played out, except they were on a bus.
That one couldn't go less than 55.
Yeah.
This one, if he gets up, he can drive the car normally, but if he gets out of the seat, it explodes. It's a pressure sensor.
I mean, is it different? Because I feel like it's the exact same thing. Either if you slow down the bus, it's going to blow up. If you get out of the car, it's going to blow up. Okay, what do you want from me? Like,
not to blow up. I don't want to explode. It was pretty good. It was way better than the last one he did, which is called Memory. And that it wasn't terrible, but it was also not that good. It was a gun for hire that is losing his memory. Yeah.
I think the last Neeson movie I saw was the one where he's tracking the wolves and ends up getting and this it's in that play. What's that?
The Gray,
that one. It was it was okay. I mean, it was a decent movie. I don't know. It was okay.
it had a weird ending.
Stop was pretty good.
Yeah. He kind of screwed up and kind of screwed up a little bit now, according to her by the ending. But but a decent movie. Not was not my favorite by any means, but it was a decent movie.
I could kind of tell because there was never a sequel. We didn't get The Gray 2, Wolf Harder.
Well, I mean, there was a movie called Cold Pursuit that came out in 2019, and my lord, that movie. The only thing that made it interesting is Liam Neeson was a snowplow driver. The rest, it was out there, man. that one was out there. But Nonstop wasn't too bad.
Let me guess.
The Commuter.
Before you tell me about it, he's a snowplow driver trying to solve a murder, and he ends up getting into a car chase with a snowplow, and he's the only one that can solve the murder and catch the bad guy.
A grieving snowplow driver seeks out revenge against the drug dealers who killed his son.
I mean, I wasn't far off.
I'm just waiting for Cold Pursuit 2, Life in the Frost Lane.
Oh, you almost had it.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot my punchline as soon as I queued it up. I was like, "Wait, what was I gonna say?"
The delivery was right there, and at the last second, skidded right into the dish.
You almost had it, Howie. Almost. You almost delivered the perfect dad joke.
Well,
and then you screwed it up.
I have been drinking, so that is the excuse.
It's got to be the picante.
It is.
Now, I will say that there was somewhat of a sequel that was related, but yet completely unrelated. Cold Pursuit came out in 2019, and in 2021, Liam Neeson starred in Ice Road, where he was a trucker in the ice roads in Canada. So, switch from the snowplows over to the semis. People die in that movie, too.
And in The Gray, he was a wolf tracker in Alaska. I mean, he needs to find a different role. Like, it's the same movie 3 times in a row.
Okay, well, in 22, the movie Marlowe came out, and he was a private dick down in L.A., okay? He wears the fedora and stuff. It's like in the 1950s, okay?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I'm now just waiting for Ice Road Truckers 2, Life in the Frost Lane.
Howard killed himself there. He's dying. Next thing we know, he's going to end up in the snowbank. He doesn't have much traction with his humor these days. Got to put some chains on those wheels there, Jaco. Keep yourself between the ditches. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just laughing because I nearly botched that punchline too. It's the same damn punchline.
Starting on
Clearly
dad
he hasn't
jokes is a
drank
slippery
enough.
slope.
Yep. Uphill both ways there, local geek. What other Liam Neeson movies do we have there? Cold Storage coming out in 2024. So let me see what that one's about. Cold Storage is an upcoming American thriller film directed by Johnny Gamble and written by David Kopp, based on Kopp's 2019 novel of the same title. What's it about? Yeah.
It's all the bodies that Liam Neeson has in cold storage.
About a refrigerator salesman.
He's a storage owner in can't be Alaska and it can't be Canada, so it's got to be Maine because that's the only other cold place in this country.
I was gonna say North
They're
Dakota.
filming in Italy.
I mean, they're not gonna make it in North Dakota because I mean Fargo is the only movie you can make in North Dakota. So
No, that wasn't even made in North Dakota. Was
no,
it?
it was southern Minnesota.
Fun fact, the Coen brothers decided to name their movie Fargo because they were pretty sure nobody would go to a movie named Brainerd.
My screen is attempting to die, so I'm gonna have to move a little bit and plug it in.
Either that or call Liam Neeson.
I might have to. Maybe he can be the IT guy of death.
I'm gonna say he'll probably just assist in the dying. So
Make it quick and painless and then put it on ice.
Oh, maybe he can reach back to where it was.
So, fun thing about the Ice Road, as we're talking about it with Liam Neeson, it was filmed around and in Winnipeg. So, somewhat of a regional flick there. Like Fargo. New season's coming out on FX, probably by the time this episode airs, too.
Oh,
So now do we get to find out about ET Phone Home? I've been curious about this for a while.
Depends who's calling.
Well, I mean, clearly it's Liam Neeson, but, we need to move off the Liam Neeson jokes.
So I put that one on there. I acquired a new cell phone Thursday, but I waited until yesterday to set it up because I was waiting for my case to come because I didn't want to use it without a case. Always use protection.
that's right.
So waited until the case showed up and I got it all set up, got everything ready to go. Took my old phone out of its case to get the SIM card and discovered that my screen was separating from the rest of my case because my battery was bloating in my old phone.
Ooh, punch a hole in it and throw it in the water.
I thought that was where the saga would end when I put it in the run sheet. But today I discovered that my data connection would randomly drop out and just not do anything, and text messages randomly wouldn't send and receive when I expected them to. So I went into the old local store here to have them troubleshoot it, and they gave me a new SIM card and walked out of the store after they were done. Didn't realize at the time that I still didn't have any data at all. I could make phone calls, I could send text messages, but I had no data. So I got back home and I was troubleshooting that and ended up spending like 45 minutes on a chat support with them trying to get it figured out, and finally got that going. But yeah, it was a whole ordeal. Like I sat in the store for almost an hour before being helped, and then another 45 minutes with chat. And all they did in the store was give me a new SIM card. Like, they could have gave me that and let me walk out the door, and I could have done it myself quicker.
I'm not gonna lie, you probably know more about the devices than the guys there do. So
Probably.
Look,
It didn't
I
help,
just wanted to help you out. I have some data for you.
It didn't help the lady in the store that was helping me was clearly an iPhone user. She had no idea how to navigate an Android phone.
Oh yeah.
Idiots.
I mean, I will sympathize with her because I am the exact same when somebody asks me something about an iPhone.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I don't know the first damn thing about an iPhone. Apparently, their internet is called Safari. That confused the shit out of me.
But you would expect the people who work in the
Sorry,
store.
Howie, there's bareface involved. There's no filter anymore.
You would expect people in the store to at least be familiar enough with the menus to get to where they need to get, and she had no clue where to go.
Yeah, when it comes to iPhone stuff, I hardly know how to turn them on. We would get one that would come into the local government office here and there, and I'd have to do things with it. And it was like a monkey kind of football because I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I'd usually give it to Kidder and he would do the things for me. So
here you go. Yeah. My work phone is now on the iCloud and I want to throw it into the iBlender because it's stupid.
Yeah, I've been an Android user since I can't say since day one because I actually had a BlackBerry when they first came out. I was a fancy college student and I had a BlackBerry so I could, I don't know, watch porn.
That's why his thumbs are crooked because he got black thumb, the BlackBerry thumb.
Yeah,
my first smartphone was a Motorola Droid 2.
Oh, so those were terrible.
I was a little late joining the smartphone game, but
those droids were terrible.
I liked that one.
I think I had one too, and I hated it. Trying to remember the name, which one I had. It wasn't the Storm. The Storm BlackBerry had the square in the center that would use like the joystick. I had the actual roller ball in mine. I had the good one, but I don't remember. There was a number designation for it, but I don't remember what it was. I mean, nothing was as good as the old, Nokia, the 3310s.
Right.
My wife actually had one of those. I think she had two of them actually. So,
and they're both still about 88% battery, and they've been on standby ever since.
Yeah, one of them is currently taped to a shovel. That was designated as her special shovel. I don't know where it is, but it's still taped to that shovel somewhere.
I think my first smartphone was a Droid Turbo.
Ooh.
It was one of the Droid series. Because you turn it on, it would go Droid.
I had a Droid for a little while, and I hated that thing. It was a pile of crap. I had LG phones for the longest time, and I loved them damn things. They weren't smartphones. They were just normal cell phones, but they were absolutely indestructible.
Yeah, they made great phones prior to the whole smartphone thing kind of getting big. You had the NVs; those were great.
I literally baked one in the oven to get the water out of it, and it still worked afterwards.
Nice.
Baked it.
I see Howie is attempting to join in and doesn't want to cut anybody off.
No, I think Kidder's blaming me for something that's happening in the hockey game. I'm trying to tell him, like, I have like this much. I can't tell what's going on.
We're losing. That's what's going on.
I see little blue and red stick figures moving around on a screen, and that's all I can tell is that's happening.
Listen, this loss by the Avs is all on Kidder. He turned the game on while I'm in, viewing. distance. That doesn't make sense.
Jacob, way to ruin a good weekend.
All you, man.
Yeah, I'm with
All
Howard.
you.
It's your
You're
fault.
going to need to have another.
No. Because stairs. Yeah.
Just crawl up them one at a time. Go into
Anybody
four-wheel
wanna go?
drive.
Anybody want to go crawl around underneath the trailer house for me tomorrow? It'll be a good time, I promise.
I'll pass. But thanks for the offer.
That is a great picture. Their local geek. I am quite fond of that one.
It is a good one. It is a good one.
Say hello to my little friend. That was a pretty awesome show. I will be doing that again next year.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good time. I had a good time building that one, and it turned out really good. I'm gonna change it up a little bit after learning some different things about after doing it the first time, but it turned out good. There might be an artillery shell or two that's added into it this time, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be. And I'm sure it'll, maybe show up on this show.
It is a definite possibility that if we are still doing this, if you are still doing this, I can't say we. I didn't contribute hardly anything except some comedy here and there. But if y'all are still doing this, it'll definitely be on.
Well,
we were just commenting on the greatness of the background screen you had going there, local geek.
Oh, I heard.
am I the only one who has not forgotten that local geek has the earbuds? He can go anywhere and he hears us. It's
I have the same thing and I still forget.
I know, but it's every time he gets up, so it's oh, local geek's gonna miss this. I'm he's still listening.
It does get a little fuzzy over by my beer fridge, but it doesn't cut out entirely.
So
he hears our voices all the time because he watches us way more than any of the rest of us do.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I see you got a box, Howie. What's in the box?
I did get a box.
Did you get a box, Jaco?
I did, and you know what? I'm really excited about it because of two things. The first is for those who know, ReaperCon was back on Labor Day, and I missed out on getting the swag bag. But you know what? I was able to pick up a lot of the individual pieces to that, like this year's convention mouseling, the convention Sophie. I understand these are all going to be blurred. The specialty paint. Yeah, I stopped watching. That's how it works. The Ed Pugh memorial figure. He was one of the two brothers who own Reaper who passed away. So I was able to pick up kind of all the things I missed. But the biggest thing, and I'm really excited about this, for those who have watched this show, at one point there was an episode way back, and I can't remember exactly which one, where I had asked Local Geek to help me decide which sword to put into a particular figure that I was using. And so here's the extra piece, the sword I didn't use. And I always thought I will get that figure again, and I will then have one that has this version. And I thought I ordered it. And when it came in, it was the wrong one. And it is finally here. So I can finally complete that figure. So I am super excited about that. So long time coming. For those who've been following the whole saga of the Arm, there you go. Howard's got the last model. And it took us so long to get to this. I'm not going to try to assemble it now while intoxicated because, you know what? I don't need to glue my fingers together. As much fun as you guys would have with that. And on probably that bit of disappointing news and, joy for Kidder because the Avs scored. Kidder! we've been talking for quite a while. It's time we start to wrap this thing up with some
have
cheap
another
plugs.
drink.
No.
Oh, I thought we were on the same wavelength there. How about some more
No,
pew
clear.
pew?
No, because clearly JS has had too much. He's petting his gun, and that just sounds terrible as I say it.
Yeah, good thing the audio
wife-
listeners have no idea what's going on.
My
right
wife
now.
is out of town for a week. I need something to snuggle with.
There's some heavy petting happening right now. This is unbelievable. Just wait till you see this. But I suppose as we get on with the OT over here, we can get on with the cheap plugs and visit beerbluesbs.com. It's everything about beer blues and BS that you'd love to know and need to love. beerbluesbs.com. If you're watching the video version, it's right here on the bottom of the screen. And if you're listening to this, it is in the show notes. So click it and click it often, if you know what I mean. Also, how about streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs? It's the place where you can subscribe and help us carry on the show. And not only for the fact to carry on the show, $1 a month to subscribe and help keep your local podcast host happy and pay for the bills. But you can also buy us a beer there. Buy us around. Send us a message. We'd appreciate it. Again, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. We also have a great merch store there. And that is just click the merch right at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs or at beerbluesbs.com/merch or click on merch. The merch thing is merching everywhere. We have lots of great things, including pint glasses like this classic one. I'll have a water with hops and grain. It's been a week. LcL Geek. He's showing it, but
I thought you had the multicam probably going. So.
I mean, I do, but it's always better when you get it full screen. The full glory of the glass. Or perhaps the best, yes, glory! The Kidder's Old Fashioned recipe available on a pint glass, t-shirt, even a shower curtain, I think. Beer Blues
With some extra cherry.
Merch. No cherry for you. That will be death for you and the Empire. No glory. No glory for cherries. You will not make it to Stovokor. So, anyway, Beer Blues BS. Here it is. Look at this. You got this quality pint glass here, the Triple B logo. New addition on the store, Streamlabs store as well, because, it's getting colder out. Maybe you have no hair on your head. You want a stocking cap of some kind. Well, yes, we have a Triple B hat that can heat up your noggin. Streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Click on merch. Please and thanks. How about the Triple B Big D Business Center? You want a sweatshirt, t-shirt, or shower curtain that shows exactly where you are? That's there too. Streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. That's in the show notes too. So, hey, look at that. LcL Geek suddenly transported himself to the prior Big D Business Center. A lot of business happening there.
Yeah, we'll have
Probably
to get
not.
me on with Big D when he's on from his new home and get an updated business center picture.
We could just get you the shower curtain to put right behind you. Then it's the Big D Business Center anywhere, anytime. So, there it is. I thought JS was overly excited there. The thought, hearing that about the business center, he was like taking his headset off. He was so excited about it.
No, my ear is going numb from my wonderful McDonald's headset thing I got going on here, and the bear face is starting to kick me in the face. So
Oh yeah, more cheap plugs. Okay. So if you buy the merch, help us out there. You can subscribe. That would help us out. Squeak. That'll help Local Geek get some WD-40 on that thing, or perhaps some other silicone lubricant. You can get that tidied up real nice. Like us, Facebook and Instagram. Please follow us. Follow us often. Subscribe, like. It's for free. It's awesome. Your home in cyberspace for beer, blues, and BS. Also available on all of the audio platforms in the podcast version: iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb. We're on Pandora. We're on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, any podcast service out there that plays the audio version. We are there. So please, if you have any of those, subscribe. Click the thumbs up. We'd love to have you along for the ride anytime, anywhere in cyberspace. So please pick up the merch, subscribe, visit our website. Of course, YouTube, where you can watch all of the video versions. If you're listening to this, and you made it this far, thank you and congratulations. Really appreciate that. And yeah, watch the video version at youtube.com/@beerbluesbs, because they have to add the extra at in for some reason now on YouTube. Other than that, I think that's cheap plugs that are cheap enough. So let's go around the horn with some final thoughts. JS, take it off. Go for it first.
Bareface is good.
All right. Astute final thoughts. Local Geek, what's brewing up over on your side of things?
So the only thing I can think of I forgot to mention when I was mentioning my new phone that I got, it was also involved in the beer spillage at the very beginning of the episode.
Is it toast now?
Oh, no, it's fine. I tested the waterproofness of it, though, and it appears to be fine.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good. I thought we were going to have a finale here before the finale of this. And with that, Mr. Stall Time himself, Howard Blues, it's your chance for a final thought. Let's see what's slipping and sliding across that skidded brain of his.
So for you guys, because you have the run sheet, you probably noticed there was a topic 8, and I decided to save it for my final thought. But I just want to say, though, I'm glad that we were able to have as much fun as we had tonight with this show. For those who are longtime followers of the show, and I mean long time, like back to episode 2, I've had some health issues, and back here at the end of September, they started to flare up again and have gotten actually progressively worse. So on Tuesday, I meet with my neurologist again, and we'll probably once again undergo an MRI scan of my brain, my nervous system, and all of that to figure out what's up. But it is bad enough, and in new places and in new ways. And so I'm living with a pretty good chance that it's going to come back with a not so great diagnosis. So I appreciate you guys for all of the laughs and such tonight, because that's been weighing very heavily on me as we get closer to Tuesday and maybe finding out. And it was nice to have a break from the pain that I've been going through a lot lately. So just wanted to say thanks to that. And I'm sure I will share more about what we find out when we find out. But it's been the scary thing for the last kind of few days and few weeks. So, but yeah, that's my final thought.
Well, obviously, best wishes, and we're sending our hopes, loves, prayers, cheers, drinks with you. tonight, tomorrow, through the weekend, and through the whole process as we've been with you through the whole ride here. So I was pulling for you there, Howie Blues, and we'll be thinking of you, of course, and not only a speedy recovery, but also speedy diagnosis to figure out WTF the thing is. So we'll get her figured out here one way or another. And if not, I have an unopened bottle of Bareface there waiting for after we get the results. And good or bad, indifferent, we'll make it better one way or another. So there's the final thoughts. We're waiting on the shootout now, but we got to get the hell out of here because it's been time enough. And that is the suspense. Will the Abs win? Will the Sharks win? Guess we'll find out in the next episode of Beer Blues and BS. So please, that's a teaser for a week. Join us next week for another edition of the show. We'll see who drops in, who bellies up to the bar, the latest news from 4 weeks ago, and whatever else is happening. Do appreciate you being here every time, every day, every way. For Howard Blues, for JS Gunslinger, and for the Triple B Brewmaster himself, LcL Geek, I am the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder. Thank you for being with us for this episode. Make sure you keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we'll catch you on down that icy ice truck, sort of skidding kind of here, there, everywhere sort of way, Tuscan Highway.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
That's an episode. So,
Woo!
Made it.
we did.
We're actually done before midnight. Like, holy shit! Like that hasn't happened for a while.
Not well. Okay, it has happened. You're just not on those episodes.
Yeah.
What does that
not.
tell you?
I mean, as the habitually late member, that's just welcome to my life.
Woo! There we go. There's one.
I'll
go Rattinan!
Kidder. Please no. Close my eyes. Making sure. Don't.
I know you're still cheating out the bottom. You're still like looking at the screen.
Can't see anything.
Here we go. Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Avalanche victory!
You know, you missed last week, JS, when we were all still on at like almost 1 talking.
Yeah. Yeah, Kidder tried to get me on the last one, but I don't know. Either I was passed out by the time he mentioned it to me, or I was still driving back from a location. I'm not sure which one.
He found a substitute, so.
I was going to say, he settled and we got lame.
He'd mentioned it earlier in the week, and I was like, yeah, I'd probably do that, and it didn't happen.